The anime out here straight up looking like they're producing literal photos instead of animation here. Just a reminder here that you can support this channel and my work that I do entirely alone on my Patreon linked below, always after new members. Please consider checking it out if you enjoy what I do.
この状況はシャドウが作り出したもの。なおかえ、私たちを切り捨て、教団よりも先んじてシャドウが偽札を流通させた。すべてシャドウ様が用意してくださいましたね。これが彼の見ていた景色。
Her depression prior to now definitely sells us on how much she loves Shadow. It's definitely not all about just being cast aside as not being powerful enough, but it's good to see her putting it together here. A surprisingly long not walking on the spot. A couple of dings have entered the chat. The perfect way to use CGI. That right there is the reason why he's one of my favourite voice actors in the game right now. Not sure how they did that, but it looked awesome. The studio continues to absolutely excel at doing great sounding sound effects during battles. Got so much oomph, or something like that. Oomph? When you don't want to go silly on your budget for a smaller battle, this is a real good way of doing it. Looks like he's moving through the scene, but he's not. The scene's moving around him. Her very much getting the wrong end of the stick. I'm not showing that, but he busted up the face, bruh. Goodness me, that was intense. One of the first times I've seen a studio accurately portray what ice would look like after being busted up. That was pretty good. That's some beautiful music right there. Reminds me a lot of ReZero actually. Pretty good that she's reminded that it was him who helped her so long ago and took Gaten's eyes. At least that's strongly suggested. That's correct, isn't it? Delta continues to be hands down one of the best things about this entire anime in my eyes. Also though, going without an ED this episode in order to allow for this very cute Delta scene to happen in the first place. It's interesting to me how Delta is one of the few people he ever gets close to having a real conversation with. I mean, yes, he makes Santa a villain, which is funny, but also reveals parts of his old life. I know I already winned it, but yeah, go on, take one more for that absolutely adorable exchange between them and from her specifically. Well now, that was an unexpected plot twist at the end there. I wonder what that was. You want to give me a new shot of the city looking great? You clearly want to win, which I'll give you. How he snuck in that extra one for me comment. See win number 164 for details. You asked for it, anime. Also though, going without an OP this episode to allow for extra juicy medium rare content to be shown instead, and personally I'm a fan. Absolutely genius to have that finger perfectly on the comedy pulse and have her cut herself off, and they even stop the music before she continues speaking, now saying we instead. All the ladies getting really aggressive because they want to be one of the 3 to go to the hot springs. Plot twist. There's me thinking they're gonna fight and then they go and do this. It's the getting changed scene. If you love this channel and you saw this anime, you knew this was getting one, didn't you? The girls are playing volleyball. I can sense this episode might get some wins for things I can't outright show all the time, but they do exist and therefore will still be wins. Well, I'm going to go ahead and drop the video's first 2 max wins, that is unless you're in the future watching a compilation of course, for all of the fantastic images of swimsuits looking fine as hell. Hot springs scene that I can't really show just in case because YouTube is silly. It really wouldn't be a proper hot springs episode if we didn't get something like this happen. They're going hard in this episode, aren't they? Now she's all tied up and they're going to do something to cause tears and it's a whole thing really. This episode out here scoring the majority of its wins purely for visuals to do with the girls, I swear. They do look great though, and this is everything great about after all. That was an unexpectedly wholesome end to this scene, I must admit. Also, take one here for the ED. Normally I give a single win, and that's it, but this one featured all the girls, so it definitely needed its own standalone win, just very likely couldn't show it. That's one of those shots where it legit looks so good I literally show it and then talk over it, rather than simply talking over it. Breathe it in! Looking like they put actual writing onto this newspaper and not just scribbles. Rico from Made in Abyss. I love seeing the difference in their power when merely pushing herself into the air causes this much damage to the area. You'd think the win would be for how good she looks, but honestly, while she does look good, her armor just looks sick as anything here. I really like that. Hands down, this anime has some pound for pound best looking city scenery shots I've ever seen. I don't think I'll ever tire of hearing a very grave sounding situation and then him popping in, just being like, I wonder where I can insert myself so I can sound really, really cool. Also funny is how often he just thinks out loud in between serious bouts of thinking and people just react to it like here. Oh god. That's so over the top, but he absolutely loves doing it. Ah, that was her. That's a nice little twist I didn't expect. Didn't think I'd ever see her again. Nicely done. He's just like living the ideal life of an OP god or something. Whatever takes his fancy, he goes and gives it a try. That was so damn awesome. One moment they're all chatting, suddenly he's talking to himself, and in a split second, Sid has taken them both out and is just helping himself to their stolen goods. This for me personally is where he's at his best. He didn't have to save her in the lawless city, he didn't have to take those guys out knowing they may come for her, and now he's given cash. People in my comments have sometimes made him out to be totally selfish, but I do think from time to time he shows how much he does care for these girls and others, like in the last win. I'm not 100% sure why he's losing it, but the effects and the voice acting definitely score it a win regardless. Is it because he put a lot of thought into something that now is screwed up? Ah, yeah, I was right, but obviously they can still keep the previous win, as it was for something else anyway. A lot of these women are just so damn good looking, it's not even funny, bruh. There's so many of them as well. They just keep on doing it, baby!
スライム率 99%、重心の移動に合わせて常に微細な魔力操作を繰り返している。
The fact that he's more than aware of what she's doing, using slime to cover parts of her body to look more attractive, and clearly thinks nothing of it, makes it even more funny. Beautiful visuals, but also it's a gorgeous song in and of itself. In fact, wasn't that the song he played during the very first episode? Okay, that was completely sick, whilst they're all busy nattering in the background. Man, he's fancy with them wires, isn't he? I have no clue why, but jokes like that just really tickle me. They really do.
スライム率 0% か。
It's too much. I can't believe he went there.
シロン様は可愛いお弟子様を独り占めしたいだけです。心配しないで全部私に委ねてください。ね、少しだけなら。
引いたと思ったら一気に近づいて共感したり、ついでによ。
Not just once, but he does it twice. It looks so funny to me.
弱みを晒したり。これあれだ。さすが先輩のメイド。勧誘の手口がそっくりだ。
Now he's walking away all sneaky with his hands up like this.
てめえらいいゴミ分だよなあ。
すいません。
ヘラヘラしてねえでかかってこいよおら。自慢の音楽で野蛮な負けん倒してみろよ。
すいません。
情けねえ。足震えてんじゃねえか。何が音楽家だ、芸術なんてクソだ。
すいません。
I don't know what the hell they've done this episode, but they've totally dialed the comedy up to 11 and it shows. Goodness me, man.
めて小走りに去っていっちまうんだ。可愛いだろ。だが俺たちにはそれで十分なんだ。
They're genuinely spitting out comedy equal to the kind of stuff we get in anime like Konosuba with this.
周囲からは否定され、誰からも理解されず、孤独だったはずだ。でも先輩は自分の生き方を貫いた。
Literally showing this because of that piece of music, and it turns out I'm right, it is done by the same dude who did ReZero. My god, I hope he returns to score the third season of that.
私はシロ君の夢を理解します。
Ah! He keeps casually eating biscuits in between the serious scenes. The little crunching sounds.
触らないでいただけます。
その態度は良くない。レイナ王妃の命はお前の態度次第だということを忘れるな。
なるほどね。これはプラン B に移るしかないかな。
Oh, how is he so very, very casual about everything? It makes for such an interesting contrast between the scene that came just before it and then his reaction. Makes me think everything will be okay. It's only very brief, but I like seeing a large map of where they are. Plus, pretty cool seeing the units from both sides. Makes me think of like Fire Emblem games.
進捗はどうだ？ド M ケツハット。
This dude being in this anime, or any anime for that matter, will never not get a win. One of my favourite voice actors in anime and of course in video games like the Trail series. That's one of the coolest locations in the entire thing.
けどあいつに決まってますから。
そうなんだ。
私、お弟子様のために頑張りました。
His face. Because he's so far unable to free his hand like last time.
お弟子様のことは私がしっかりサポートしますので、はっきり言わないとわからないかしら。貴族は暴力を嫌い、芸術を愛す。 それがオリアナ王国の歴史。
That gets a win, but I'll avoid directly showing it because, let's face it, YouTube can be really weird. But yeah, he managed to get out of their grasp, put his clothing on that, play the piano and get back here.
まだ私たちの愛は認められないの？
もう少し待ってくれ、ハニー。
Ah, now that's a good old-fashioned plot twist. I figured end of episode 10, she was some woman he was sleeping with. Didn't know it was her. Take that win.
異世界ファンタジーじゃなくて昼ドラになってる。夕方6時台に軌道修正しないと。
I know I've winned it before, but his lackadaisical attitude to very real problems is always so damn funny. He's even commenting that he'd rather things be less soap opera and more dark.
殺すのですか？私はあなたの恩を仇で返すようなことをしてしまった。
Nice little bit of avoiding exposition right there, as she forms a weapon to defend herself with, or attack him only to very quickly get rid of it, accepting her fate. A very real and dark reaction to seeing the truth about her mother and so-called fiancé.
反逆の刃を解き放ち。まあ、なんか、ごめん。
One of those rare few times where he's kind of like, damn, I went too far there and now I feel a little bit bad.
決戦は3日後、結婚式、獅子が覚醒する。
Setting up the next big event of the story quite nicely there, I must say. I liked how that was done. I can't even imagine the time and effort that went into building a scene like that.
だが過程はどうあれ結果は上々。これで私もラウンズだ。これで私もラウンズだ。ラウンズだ。待て待て待て。ちょっと待って。
They built up that scene, but it was still way better than I thought it'd be, and the normal very serious voice actor pulled it off beautifully as well, I think. It was an unexpected treat to see him still searching all over the place.
あなたは私の父であるオリアナ国王を操り、王妃を汚し、国家の転覆を企てた。
I must say, it's really good to see her taking charge like this and finally laying everything out in the open. I did feel like this would be the ideal time in my gut, and here we are.
あの方にいただいたこの指輪に誓って。
That whole scene right there was nothing but purely aesthetically pleasing to my eyes.
ローズ、お前に王国の未来を託す。愛している。
What a fantastic way to do that moment. That was really powerful. Like, his speech was legit great. I loved how he said sorry to his past father for putting his kingdom through this too. Such a nice touch.
ローズ・オリアナがあなたを断罪します。
So damn awesome that was! Let's just say, he got denogonized, and then she lost her head in fury after. Wow.
無能な味方は敵よりも厄介だ。そう思わんか？オリアナの新たな王よ。
Amazing plot twist that he's here now. Also, he's clearly very tough taking those two out without even moving, or at least the mother anyway.
かつてベガルタ帝国10万の兵を一夜にして滅ぼした黒きバラ。
Visually, that is so awesome! How that was done, goodness me!
ラグナロクよ。
This is great as a setup for the final episode, plus the destruction effects. Whilst they couldn't be seen incredibly well, they did look good from what I could see. Plot twist ending too. Sid is just insane, really. He's so strong he played a key and immediately lopped the arm off the thing. Damn, man.
空に咲くバラ、燃えるコウモリ、血を流光の帯。だが醜いな。
Sid basically rambling off cool sounding nonsense as always, but mainly going without an OP this episode. Adding a new level of interest to this battle because the enemy can heal itself. Sid genuinely enjoying himself here taking on a powerful foe, or what he hopes will be one for a change. Also though, the music being so very ReZero-ish, I love it.
身の程を知れと言ったぞ。
見えない斬撃。
These girls going up against their own strong foe, plus those effects from the sword strike were great.
さもないと少し痛い目を見てもらうことになるわよ。
ボングどもめが。
They've pulled out all the stops in the final episode as far as effects go, clearly not CGI other than the bits floating in the scene, which is only natural.
さすが異世界。コウモリもスケールがでかい。大災害。
Like I've said before, him sounding totally casual during a heated battle won't ever not score a win.
それは我々が自ら血を流してこそ示せるものでしょう。今は行動を。
はっ。
Showing this as both the internal and external set designs as far as damage go look absolutely incredible.
貴様らごとき一瞬で。
ずいぶん遠そうな一瞬だこと。
That was such a brutal put down to him saying he can use the beast to wipe them out in but an instant.
それが竜の衰退につながった。
ちょうど1000万年ほど前か。あるいは我ら人間種もまた魔力や魔物のように別々の世界から来た生物なのではないか。
At first I figured they were kinda going down the road of multiple realms to explain away this beast and magic and stuff, but it's actually far more interesting. This anime remains near or at the very top of the pound for pound list of gorgeous looking scenery shots of cities. I mean, look at that! This entire lore drop can also get a win, especially for the giant Dobby looking creature? Not sure if that's how you spell it, I read the Harry Potter books 20 plus years ago. That was creepy anyway. Sid destroying the creature, potentially, but looking so damn cool whilst he does it.
挙句エフェクトは使い回しか。
Him totally treating this like it's the end stage of a JRPG, and I cannot express how much I enjoy that, and those games too.
君にはデルタ以下の称号を与えよう。
Kai is so strong it's unreal, and even with a final transformation, he's still not as strong as Delta.
臨界とか指数とか関数がなんとかで連鎖的になんやかんや。
Something tells me he doesn't quite understand how the science works.
この場所を見て感じて改めて自分のなすべきものが見えた。だからこれで遊びは終わりだ。
I'm Atomic。は？
I friggin' love it. The only way to make the move even more badass is, of course, to do it in space. That was fantastic, and it grabs itself 2 max wins. Oh, damn! Now that was a good plot twist, because it certainly seemed like he didn't even know what it was either. Oh my god, are you kidding me? Is that what I think it is? He's come back to Japan and it's wrecked! Wow! This is getting 2 max wins already, I'm so hyped!
一人になるなんていつ以来だろう。
This is unreal to see her for the first time in so long. Japan is largely destroyed, greenery is growing over everything, and she remembers that night with Sid. I'm blown away!
あかねだな。
I'm so confused, I need help, what's going on? What an entrance, and it's even better than the first time he did it in episode 1. I'm still so confused though. You can't give me such clean looking animation with tons of frames and then also great looking damage effects and not expect to get max wins. Darth Weirdo, Matthew Blancett, Mao Liao, The Elemental Awards, Christopher Willis, Draki, Fancy Turtle, Kepan, Minimasher, Marquez, Orkeeper, Steelers, The Epic Commander, Birds Without a Word, Brandon Creer, Brian Bayot, Cameron, Christopher Tawasa, Commander Cyrus, Doggos for Life, Dragonstorm 35, Emmanuel Gonzalez, Aaron Winters, Guru, I Am Here, Yor Edvinson, Kevin Alston, Cumfroik, Carly Welp, Lisa Marie Tim, Luis Minito, Magnus, Nathan Burr, Nightly Winter, Peter Milligan, Ruby Rose, Sataka Yari, Zyonx 44, Sean, The 100s, Tiger Lily Warrior, Subito, Wiccan Faye, Ali 50, Brainless Ben, Cecilia, Cedric, Cloud Garden, Arden, Dark Lord Bloody Soul, Devon, Iso, Garrett Vermeesh, Gibbs, Isel Caldera, Jason Davies, John, Jafford6263, Calnock, Kevin Nelter, Kavink102, Knuckle Duster, Chris Madden, KY158, Carl Jones, Laxor, Laxus, Liam Gogati, Lifty, Lionel Schultz, Marvin, Malcarius, Michael Lewis, Modiverum, Mudini, Mr. Firecool, Natsu Dragneel, Nick Monaco, Nick Pell, 9028, Oliver Smiley Reacts, Q Flash, Ryan DeVirus, Sentimento, Storm970, TRS, The Danish Muggle, Tricky Nicky, Willyman.